All right. Should we start? Good morning, everybody. I want to take a couple seconds and just say the thank yous that are really important to making this possible today. Today's a real significant day for open space in Jersey City and open space in the Heights. We're cutting the ribbon today on a more than $2 million renovation of this park, which came out beautifully. And we're going directly from here to the reservoir, which is going to be a $6 million renovation to turn that into what it always should have been, a world-class destination park, another one for Jersey City. I want to thank a couple different individuals that have made this possible. It wouldn't be possible without the support of the county, our commissioners, and the county executive. You'll shortly hear from one of the commissioners who represents the area here. We have a tremendous advocacy group here in the RNA, one of the strongest and most vocal community associations in all of Jersey City. And without them, this would never have happened. They gave a lot of input based on the community. Yes. They gave a lot of input based on community feedback with regards to what they wanted to see here, based on your feedback and your voice, and how many trees, where the trees would be situated, planning for what this park would look like for the next 20, 30, 40 years. And then, of course, I want to say thank you to the Parks Coalition, which is our partner throughout Jersey City in advocating for parks and open space and making sure we have the possibility to renovate the parks as they should be. A couple years ago, we put in place the Parks Open Space Trust Fund, which was the first time that Jersey City ever did something like that. And it has been a tremendous resource to allow us to do these sort of renovations. It is a small amount of money which yields tremendous benefit for the entire city. And so we're going to continue on this track of renovating parks, improving parks. If there's one thing that we learned in the tough year that we've just experienced, is that open space and parks in places like Jersey City that are densely populated are tremendously important. So I'm going to turn it over first to our county commissioner who represents this area, Anthony Romano, to say a couple words.
Thank you, Mayor. It's unbelievable. It's an oasis. It is just a wonderful thing of beauty. To all the companies that work to this, to get to this part, it's just, when you look at it, it's just an addition to Jersey City. I want to thank the mayor and his administration for working with the county. It shows with a collaboration of different levels of government what could be achieved. Francesca Garatana over there is our director of planning. Francesca, great job working with all the community groups. To Joyce and Roger and your wonderful association, it's a pleasure working with you also because you show the care for the neighborhood. And again, it's just to all the people here, we can have you enjoy it during this tough year. Outdoor beauty for passive recreation, and also the events that are going to take place here, this beautiful fountain. So again, on behalf of the county, the Board of Commissioners, our county executive, it's a pleasure working with this great city and their administration to achieve something that the neighborhood is going to be proud of for years to come. So God bless everyone, enjoy it, and be safe.
Thanks. I'd like to acknowledge the city council members that are here today. At the end, you have our councilman at large, Rolando Lavaro. You have our Ward D councilman, Youssef Saleh. MIRA PRINZ-AREY, who is the one who is the point person on the Open Space Trust Fund. She's coming shortly. And speaking on behalf of the council is our council president, Joyce Waterman, who I'll invite up here. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the late Councilman Michael Yun, who was a real partner in making this possible here, who worked hand in hand with the RNA to design and make sure that this park served the community in the way that you wanted to serve the community. So I do want to say a special thank you to Michael Yun, and his aide is Vernon Richardson, who is still doing tremendous work for the city. Where is Vernon? Well, I'm going to invite up Joyce Waterman to say a couple words.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is an exciting day. Why is it so exciting? Because what the pandemic has taught us is how important is open space. And so today when I came, I looked around and I seen the beauty of this park. I remember when we started with the gazebo and different things like that. And now we see that the fountain is here, the open space is here, all the trees is here. So it's really a good day. And why it's so good? Because families can come together. You know, we were shut down, closed in, and that was not the best thing. And so now we have the open space, we can communicate with each other, we can touch each other, and that's what life is really all about. So I'm excited that you have this park to enjoy one another and just continue to build this community. I thank all the partners that made this possible. What makes our job so easy is when we really work with the community and the community input is involved. So I know this is more the community input than it's been our input. So for that, congratulations to everybody who had a voice in this. Congratulations to every family, you know, that's up here because you really fought for this park. And for that, I say stay safe, continue to mask up, and God bless you.
Next, I'd like to invite up for the Jersey City Parks Coalition, Roger HEITMANN, who's also very involved in R&A and open space throughout the city, a vocal advocate on behalf of the community. Roger.
Thank you. I'm going to take this off because I can't speak through the mask. Good morning. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. On behalf of the board of the Jersey City Parks Coalition and its 26-member parks, we celebrate the return of Riverview Fisk Park to the people. We thank the City of Jersey City and Mayor FULOP for bringing this renovation to its conclusion, and we look forward to more park renovations and additional new park creations going forward. Particularly during this pandemic, we all became acutely aware of how important open spaces can be to the community. This was especially apparent here in the Heights, where much of the park was closed for over a year. We have now had valuable public resource returned to us in the best condition possible. Let us respect and feel the new grass under our feet and the calming sounds of the water cascading from the new fountain. The sounds of the birds, the sound of the breezes rustling through the trees. Sit on the benches and reflect upon your future here and gain inspiration from the resurgence and serenity of nature surrounding you. Thank you.
To give a little bit more perspective on the Open Space Trust Fund and how it's been used, is the point person for the council on that committee, MIRA PRINZ-AREY, who represents Ward B. I'd like her to come up and talk a little bit about the Open Space Trust Fund, which has been a huge resource and allows us to do projects like this. So, MIRA, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is incredibly exciting to see so many people that have had a hand in making this happen, from current and past leadership of the Riverview Neighborhood Association, Roger, to your continued and constant advocacy as a Parks Coalition member, city employees, city agencies, and our county partners. This is really very exciting. And one of the tools that we now have in our toolbox is the Open Space Trust Fund, which was approved by all of you people here, the voters of Jersey City. This small percentage of tax goes into a fund that helps us improve and expand all projects across our ward. And if not for this trust fund, these kinds of projects would take a much longer timeline to realize and recognize, and it's already been a number of years. So again, to residents, I know, especially during the COVID and the pandemic, things have been tight for a lot of people. We did put the trust fund on pause for 1 year. It is being reactivated again, but know that that small contribution collectively allows us to do major projects like this. So again, we thank you. We have also, the other great thing about the trust fund is that a representative from each ward sits on the committee. So when projects come in from our nonprofit partners, we get to make sure that resources are equitably and equally distributed across the entire city. So we look forward to more ribbon cuttings like this, and you guys enjoy the park and enjoy your days.
I wanted to add one thing about the Open Space Trust Fund, because often people ask, well, it's an added tax or an added surcharge in your tax bill, and why is that not just something that the city's doing when it is conventional budget? And the city does fund parks with our conventional budget. Every year we allocate a lot of money to renovate parks throughout the city. The trust fund is a little bit different because it's entirely community driven. As MIRA said, there is a representative from each ward on that board. It's not based on what Rolando or myself or Youssef or any of the council people think is important. It's based on what the community thinks is important. It's an allocation of roughly $2 million that every single year sees applications. It's community driven, and then the community decides what specifically gets done with those dollars. So it's a little bit different, and it's important, and this is another testimony to the importance of having dollars like that that are directly community driven. I want to just recognize Paula, who is the president of the Parks Coalition here citywide, who's joined us. And Patrick also, who is a community advocate here in the Heights. Many of you are familiar with his work. Thank you, Patrick. And to kind of close out the speakers, I want to invite up JOCELYN, who is the president of the RNA and has done a tremendous job, as I said earlier, in leading this group during tough times. She gets a lot of questions on why this park was closed for so long, how it was closed, how this process happened, why were trees taken down, what's the plan for the trees. And as I said earlier, it makes our life easier when you have community groups that are engaged, and that's really the case here. So without further ado, the president of the RNA.
Now you see, Roger said all the cool stuff that I was really going to say, so I can't really steal any stuff from him because he quoted poetry. But at the end of the day, what I really want people to remember is, yes, it was closed for a year. Yes, it wasn't a great time for it to be closed because we had a pandemic. But look at what we have now. You know, we've got a fountain, we've got a drinking station, we've got beautiful grass, we've got trees that the next time there's a storm, they won't break their limbs and risk hurting someone. There's been so much work, so much energy done on this, even before I joined the RNA. Kern Wiseman and Roger Heitman were big advocates for what was going on here. And then once I joined, I kind of got into the fray and into everything with the city. But at the end of the day, this park is for everyone. This park is for our children, this park is for people, this park is for us to kind of sit here and listen to lovely sounds of the fire department going to rescue someone, you know. But you can also hear the birds. You can also hear, you know, the kids playing in the playground. You can, the guys on the basketball court. Just remember that this park is for all of us. Just remember that that's what it's here for. You know, treat it like you would your backyard. Enjoy the view, have a picnic, you know. And thank you guys so much, you know, for all the work and all the support that you've given us over the years as well. Thank you.